Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Enchanted Escape Pod. This is episode 12. I'm Vanessa, and I'm here with my incredible husband, Lucas.
Hello.
Well-
You said episode 12, and I was like, it's going to get harder to remember.
Well, we're still just in just two digits, so
Well,
far so
that's gonna
good.
take
I
a
can
while.
count to 12, everyone. Hallelujah. A dozen. That's fun. What are we talking about today?
Sorry, I was just,
Drinking water.
drinking a lot of water.
Hydrating. That's good.
We are talking about traveling to Disney World in general, but we're going to give 10 tips for
Our top
everybody.
10 tips.
I mean, there's a lot of tips, but
Yeah.
we're going to give, maybe the most important ones.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, we could probably talk for 5 hours about important things to know or do or tips we have because we've gone to Disney World a lot of times. We have a lot of insight. But
Yep.
we gathered our top 10.
All right. Do you want to start?
Yes, we don't have any news that we're bringing up today. We are just going to dive right in. So number 1, our first, and these are in no particular order, so it's not like number 1 is better than number 2 or number 10 is the best. We just put them in an order here. So number 1, for no particular reason, being number 1.
You're already freaking out about
Yeah,
this.
guys,
You're like,
number
oh
1,
my
okay,
God,
but
oh my God.
Don't think it's number 1. All right.
That's A. Tip A.
No, now that's more confusing.
Oh my
tip
God.
letter A. Okay, so the first tip on the list is to have an overall plan. So we don't mean have a minute by minute agenda of what you're going to do every day of your trip, but it is very important to have some kind of an outline. So I'm a little bit of a psycho, so I make an Excel sheet where I don't actually do that as frequently because we go so much now,
I
but
feel like you do for the longer trips.
for the longer trips, yeah, when we're going to do a trip that's over a week to the parks, I tend to do some kind of Excel sheet where I just say, okay, day 1, we are going to be in Magic Kingdom. Day 2, we're going to be in Epcot and Hollywood Studios. And then if we are going to eat anywhere or do any kind of seated dining, I'll put that into the plan. So just a skeleton of a plan. Because if you go into a Walt Disney World trip and you just say, yeah, we have 4 days of tickets and we're just going to go and wing it, that's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea. Yeah.
It's a recipe for disaster.
I mean, a lot of people say they're like, oh, I'm just going on a vacation. I'm just going to do what I feel like it. But, it's a different vacation.
Yeah.
So when you don't make plans, you're going to be definitely missing out on something. And then you could have made your vacation better somehow.
Yeah. And and you don't, again, it's a bad idea to over plan. You don't want to plan out every single minute of every single day because then it's going to make the vacation stressful. But you should have some idea of which park you're going to be in, if you're going to do any dining. Because also you don't want to end your trip and go, oh man, we only spent half a day in Animal Kingdom and we spent 3 days at Magic Kingdom or whatever it is. You just want to make sure that you're going to see as much as you can and do as much as you can with your time. And also taking the time to do that planning or some type of planning before your trip means you're going to have to do less thinking during your trip because okay, it's day 2. We're doing Animal Kingdom and Epcot today. I already decided that. So it helps take a little pressure off during the trip, I think.
Yeah, and also, as you said, you can't be super strict. We used to be very strict. We used to be very
at 2 o'clock we're gonna leave Magic Kingdom and go.
And right now we like to just have an overall plan, but still be very flexible because we never know what can happen. So a ride could be down, or maybe you miss the bus in the morning, or out of nowhere you just completely change your plans, and it's fine because you don't want to have a quick service dinner anymore. You want to have a sit down dinner. So, you just have an idea of what you want to do, what are maybe the must do's on every single day, where you're going, but don't over schedule and make it harder for yourself.
Yeah. And I will say one way, if you're saying, but man, I have no idea where to even begin with planning out the days of a Disney trip, that's why you should use a travel advisor. Yeah.
Oh, Vanessa.
Yeah. A travel advisor that specializes in Disney because I can certainly help you with that, but that's beside the point. Anyway, what else?
I feel like the phrase for this first tip that is have an overall plan should be leave room for spontaneous moments.
Yeah. but know generally where you're going to be each day. And the big thing for this, and this is going to take us into tip number 2 in no particular order, but tip number 2, is that you want to decide if you're going to be doing any sit down dining on any day, right? You want to figure out what that schedule looks like, because if you are going to do sit down dining, you need to make those reservations at your 60-day mark. So you can make reservations for Disney restaurants that are on Disney property 60 days out from your trip. Some of them you don't need them 60, like some of them you can get a same day reservation easily, but especially things like character dining, this kind of stuff you need to schedule at that 60-day mark.
Yeah, I feel like Disney Springs, the only one that I would say the 60 days should be Chef Art Smith's.
Oh, Chef Art Smith's.
Yeah. And then like character dining, definitely Ohana, Cinderella Royal Table,
Akashu at
Akashu's,
Epcot. Yeah. Even like Tusker House Breakfast, Animal Kingdom.
Tusker House Breakfast. And right now, of course, GO82 and Beacon Barrel.
Yeah. Yeah, lounges too. So just because it's not like a full sit-down meal, keep in mind these themed lounges are becoming very popular. So like... what's the one? Space 220. Although Space 220 is a little easier now.
Don't go.
But also we didn't love it when we went. But Beacon Barrel, the brand new Pirate Lounge in Magic Kingdom, GO82, the brand new lounge inside the Spaceship Earth at Epcot. Those ones you're gonna have to book immediately, and you may not even get it at the 60 days because they are going so quickly.
But also, like keep in mind that like it's always good to be always like refreshing and trying to get like last minute reservations, because I remember like a long time ago when Oga's was still like a hype at Hollywood Studios, we were able to get like a day off reservation, and we were like
we just
so
kept
happy.
refreshing it, and that was great too, because we got one that was like right at the end of the day, and so it was like the last thing we did that day was to go to our Oga's reservation, and then when we left, the park was closed and there was like nobody there, and we got to walk through an empty Hollywood Studios at the end of the day. It was super cool. Yeah. But now Oga's has like always a 5-minute walk-up list, so.
I feel like they have to change Oga somehow.
Yeah, the thing is the theming in Oga's and the vibe in Oga's is very cool. The food is not good, and the standing situation is not ideal for a lot of groups. And the whole
like share tables and everything.
Yeah, if you haven't been to Oga's, like the tables inside, so there are some very cool like booth style tables. But those are really, I think, just for larger groups. They're very limited. Yeah, they're very limited, and they seat like 6 people, or maybe even more. Yeah. And so if you're a group of 2, you're definitely not going to get one of those. You are going to be shoved into like some type of standing room situation with these like skinny tables. So yeah, that's not ideal. I think they could rework the inside to make it a bit more appealing. But if you haven't been to Oga's and you're a Star Wars fan, definitely go. It's very cool.
So fun. It's a very interactive experience, and it's always so much fun. And the DJ.
Yeah. But plan that into your trip, and make a reservation. But okay, so tip number 1, having a plan. Tip number 2, booking your dining reservations at your 60-day mark. Number 3 is going to be to stay on site. So I know that this is not, if you can, I guess we should say, it's not, if you're a group of 20 people and you want to rent a big Airbnb house, maybe that's something that's going to make more sense for a group like that. So there are certain situations like that where, of course, it's very difficult for, a group of that size to stay on site altogether, unless you're going to spend, a year's mortgage to stay in some type of like large villa situation. But outside of that, if you are, just a small group or a small family group or a couple, it is 100% worth it to stay on site, and also can be just as affordable as staying off site if you know when to book, where to book. I mean, we've stayed at value level resorts for $100 a night.
I mean, the thing about staying on site, it's of course you get the Disney magic and all of the Disney things like out of the parks, but also there was one time that we were talking about it, how even if you're paying like, I don't know, like $100 cheaper on an off-site hotel, but you don't have the transportation, you don't have the early entry, you don't have the ability to get like lighting lanes earlier than everybody else if you use that. Yeah. But I feel like the transportation only is worth it. Yeah. Especially for us that we like to take breaks all the time. Yeah. And it's
I mean, the cost of Ubers to get to and from places, that's just dollars right there. But the time, I mean, when you're on a Disney trip, time is money. You know, I mean, you want to get as much done as you can on these days and see as much as you can and enjoy as much as you can because you're paying for these park tickets. So it really makes a difference to be so early entry is one of the biggest reasons, of course. And that, for those of you who don't know, if you're staying on site on Disney property in Disney World, you can enter the parks 30 minutes before their opening time. And you can get a lot done in that 30 minutes.
You can have so much done.
Yeah. I mean, you can ride 2 rides or, do a ride and get yourself a breakfast and walk around in a park that's almost empty.
If you go to early entry on Magic Kingdom, you can do pretty much, I'm not gonna say 100%, but almost the whole Fantasyland. Like Peter Pan, you can do. No, it's a small world because it's still like long, but you can do Peter Pan. You can do Pooh, like all of those smaller rides, dark rides. You can do so quick.
Yeah. If you do It's a Small World, then you'll enter at early entry,
and then you leave
you
like
exit,
at 2 p.m.
And you're like, wait a minute, is it dark out? But yeah, so that early entry makes it so worth it. And then the other thing Lucas mentioned was the multi-pass pick. So we're going to talk about Lightning Lane multi-pass in a couple of tips from now, but you get to select your Lightning Lane multi-pass picks 7 days out from your trip if you're staying on site. If you're staying off site, it's only 3 days out. And so all those people that are staying on site that picked 7 days out have picked a whole lot of picks. So if you're 3 days out, you're staying off site, you're losing out in that way too. And again, that means you're losing maybe the experience of riding something, or you're going to have to wait in line for something, and that's time spent. So all of these things add up, and I think it's just there's so much value in staying on site.
And also it's so good, like when you, especially like when you're like a Magic Kingdom, for example, and you just did like a massive day. Like, even if it's like a regular day or after a party or something, that you're like so exhausted, but you know that you're just gonna walk a few steps and then you're gonna have a bus waiting for you.
Yeah.
You know, if you're staying off-site, you gotta take the monorail, take that out of that monorail line.
Go to the TTC.
Go to the TTC, wait for an Uber or something. Or get
your car and then drive yourself to nearby. Yeah. No. Nothing like getting on a dark Disney bus at the end of the day.
A dark, like freezing Disney bus.
Just passing out on the bus.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is tip number 3. Number 4, and this we kind of already alluded to, but that's to get to the parks early, or to rope drop, so we call it. And of course, staying on site means that's going to be a half hour earlier than everyone else, but taking advantage of those early morning hours is huge, because you'll see when you get to the park first thing when it opens, you wait a couple of hours, by noontime, 1 o'clock, all of a sudden it's a totally different place. It is packed. So take advantage of those early morning hours.
Multiple times. I mean, I'm going to say not multiple times, but every time that we are in a park that we get there for early entry, we get there like half an hour before the official opening time, and then like maybe like an hour and a half after that. I always looked at Vanessa, and I'm always like, wow, it's not that full today. And then we're just like, well, let's wait a couple hours. And then it's massive packed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, an example for that is like early entry at like Hollywood Studios. You might be able to just wait like 15, 20 minutes for a rise, comparing to like 2 hours, maybe 3 during like the middle of the day, like, you know.
Yeah. Another thing too that is nice in the early morning hours is, so we get the photo pass attached to our annual pass, and this is not on our list, but photo pass is a definite something that we would definitely suggest, especially if this is like a sort of once in a lifetime or a rare trip for a family. Getting that photo pass is really, really worth it. But in the morning, before you're completely drenched in sweat after walking around in the Florida heat all day, it's a great time when you're in the park in the early morning. I don't think the photographers are out like right at early entry time. They might be, or a lot of them might be, but definitely those early morning hours when you're first getting to the park before everybody's drenched in sweat is a great time to walk around and stop at some of those photo pass spots and get some nice family photos done, couples photos. We've definitely done that a lot, where we did it at Hollywood Studios a few times, where we walked in and then just stopped in front of the tower and got some of those photos done. So yeah, that's definitely a good time to take advantage of that.
And also, please don't stop for pictures, like not on rope drop, but like at 10 in the morning, 9:30 in the morning. Don't stop for pictures in front of the castle. It's not worth it.
It's not worth. Don't. If you see a line that's more than like 2 to 3 groups, just don't. Just come back
because
later.
in the middle of the afternoon, there's always multiple photo pass cast members just free for pictures all the time.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so tip number 5 is going to be to have a midday break or to work in rest days to your trip. So ultimately, tip number 5 is rest.
I mean, yeah, we used to never do that.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, we had like rest days, but it was kind of Disney Springs, still like packed with a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
Because Vanessa cannot be resting on the resort.
I just love Disney. Just want to run around.
And also before, when we started to go like a few years ago, we used to don't take any break.
Yeah.
We used to get like Animal Kingdom at 7 in the morning, like Hollywood Studios, Epcot, Magic Kingdom like 8:30, and go for the whole day without stopping. And right now, we just kind of like started having like midday breaks.
It's a game changer.
And it's insane.
Yeah.
How like maybe you might think like, oh, but you might be wasting like 1, 2, 3 hours. But when you come back to the park, you feel like
a whole new person.
Yeah. Totally refreshed, ready for another like 12 hours.
Yeah. And I mean, this obviously is an essential if you're traveling with young kids. Like nap time is obviously non-negotiable for a lot of people. So this midday break is going to be essential. But even if you are not traveling with little ones who need naps or breaks, adults need breaks and naps too. And it has made a huge difference especially if you're going to be taking our advice and rope dropping in the morning and getting to the park very early. It's great around 2 or 3 o'clock. The park is super busy because in that part of the afternoon, there's a million people there.
And also the worst time for the sun.
Yeah, the sun is high in the sky and it is freaking hot. It's a great time to
jump
pool. on a bus and get back to your resort, jump in the pool, and take a little break, have a little shower.
Yeah, here's how our break time goes. We usually leave the park. Let's say we stay in French Quarter. That's the best resort, the best pool for us. We stay in the French Quarter. We get the pool. We get on the bus. We take a little nap. We get a French Quarter. We split one beignet. We go to the room. We change very quick dip in the pool. We feel like already like very refreshed and like not as hot anymore. Go back to the room. Half an hour. Take a shower. Get ready again. Leave. Totally new person.
Yeah. I mean, we're only even at our resort for maybe 2 hours, like sometimes even less than that. Yeah, like 1 to 2 hours.
We've done breaks that was like 45 minutes, and it was totally worth it.
You just jump in the pool, get out, take a quick shower,
and
then
then
you're back in a
nap,
park.
But like just the fact of like jumping in the pool and taking a shower, it's game changer.
It feels like you took a nap because you're just a totally new person. It's amazing.
And have caffeine.
Yeah. And a key part of that was also the beignet. So if you're staying at French Quarter, afternoon beignet.
I mean, if you're staying at French Quarter, have a beignet. If you're staying at Polynesian, have a Dole Whip. Like, what else?
Yeah, midday snack, just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of what are some other, like key snacks from resorts.
I thought about those, like, cheesecake, those decorated cheesecakes that they have at All Stars and Pop Century and stuff.
Oh, yeah, like the tie-dye cheesecake or whatever it is. Yeah, yum. Now I want a beignet.
All right, next.
Okay, so up next is to use Lightning Lane Multipass strategically. So number 1 is to use Lightning Lane Multipass because as far as express passes go, if you go to Universal, you're going to pay $150 per person for
more.
express or more, per day. But the Lightning Lane Multipass, which is the skip the line system at Disney World, ranges from, so they do it by park, and it ranges from, I don't know, $18 to $25,
they range
give or
from
take.
Like 14 to sometimes like 30 plus 35, I think.
Yeah. Depending on the park and obviously that like 30 to 35 is going to be like Christmas Day and Magic Kingdom.
This is my opinion about Multipass. Like, right now that we go all the time, and we are not doing like full day of parks, like in 10 days we're gonna be going like a week, and we only gonna be doing like half a day on each park, whatever. We're not gonna do any full day. We probably won't get Multipass because we do what we can, and we usually can like.
He says that, but I'm gonna like probably secretly get Multipass.
No, we won't.
We'll let you know after our trip whether we got.
No, because listen, it doesn't
No,
make
I
sense.
know what you mean. It doesn't. There are times where it makes sense, and there's times where it doesn't.
But the thing is, like, multipass, when you're doing like a longer trip, let's say like a 4+5 day trip, maybe even more, and you're spending like, I don't know, like $2,000-$3,000 for a trip, spending like $15-$20 a day per person, it's worth it, because it's gonna make a massive difference, especially if you just go like once a year or once every couple of years.
Yeah,
it
makes a big difference. But the biggest thing though is using it in a strategic way, or using it in a smart way. So it does feel like a very complex system if you're somebody that doesn't go to Disney frequently, or doesn't know about it, or not familiar with the rides or the tier systems. It's a complex system. So if you're going into it blind and you're just making random selections, you're not going to get your money's worth, because there are certain rides that it would be silly to get on multipass, right? There are rides that frequently have 10 to 15 minute waits, so utilizing a lightning lane for that doesn't make sense. There are also certain rides in different parks that sell out on multipass very quickly or very early in the day, so knowing which ones those are so you can make those picks earlier on also makes sense. So this is another point where I'm going to shameless plug using a travel advisor that specializes in Disney, because if you're using an advisor, even if it's not me, if it's one of my friends, using an advisor that knows about this stuff, that can help you to make your picks and to plan this out, is going to make a massive difference.
Because you got to be strategic. There's so many different strategies for that. And, because you mentioned about like using like a multi-pass pick for something that it might be not super busy or something. But there was also a situation where, like, for example, you go to Epcot, and then you want to get Test Track, but you also want to get Remy. And then, like, 7 days before, because they're both, like, Tier 1, you can only pick one. So 7 days before, let's say that you got Test Track, but you want to make sure that you still got Remy on an earlier time. So you could, for example, just get, like, Living with the Land at like 9 in the morning.
Yeah, earliest pick possible.
As soon as you scan, you are able to select any other one, even from the Tier 1. So then you'll be able to, like, like get something early.
But that's like a strategic thing that you would never think to do unless you were very familiar with the rides and the system.
And also because we go all the time and we know how the things work and happens,
Yeah.
So that's why you should use Vanessa, because she will help you.
So I guess this whole episode is really just about why you should give me shoot me an email or give me a call.
I mean, it's true, because you're gonna get a shit ton of help.
All right, yeah.
It's just worth it.
Yeah. And I mean, Disney is a fantastic, magical place to go, but it is complicated.
It is very complicated.
It's not like going to Mexico and then just sitting on a beach and staying at an all-inclusive resort.
I mean,
there's a lot of moving parts.
For us that we go all the time, it's still very complicated.
Yeah.
So.
And actually, that leads into another one, another tip on our list, which is going to be, so when we're saying get to know these systems and that it's a complicated place, I'm going to say you need to get to know your transportation. So yeah, these parks are definitely very layered, very complicated, and that kind of leads into our next tip, which is going to be to get to know your transportation options, because there is so many different types of transportation in the Disney World bubble. And this is another reason why staying on site is amazing, because there's a million ways to get from point A to point B within that Disney bubble. But understanding them and knowing what makes the most sense from getting to one place to another is really important. So what are all the different types of transportation on Disney property?
So, of course, all the buses from every single resort. And then we have the monorail, the famous monorail loop, Contemporary, Polynesian, Grand Floridian.
And Magic Kingdom.
And Magic Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And the Skyliner, which is our
and then
favorite.
the other part of the monorail, too.
The monorail goes to Epcot. Yeah. But, and the Skyliner, which is our favorite. So.
And also boats.
And the boats.
And also walking paths.
There's so many different transportations. Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to get around.
The thing is, like, you understand. You don't have to understand the whole transportation complex of Disney, because that's a lot. And even us, sometimes we get kind of confused.
Yeah.
But, understand very much how the transportation works for your hotel. Because, sometimes at French Quarter, we have the boat to Disney Springs. But if there's like a crazy rain or or if the water level in the river is low, they won't be running that.
Yeah.
But same thing on like Skyliner. You're staying at Pop Century and you're planning on taking the Skyliner to Epcot. But there could also be a situation where the Skyliner for some reason is not running. So you're going to have a bus. And also understand when we are park dropping. What?
Park hopping? Park hopping, as in going from one park to another.
What is a park dropping?
I don't know. That's a new term
But
we're going to
basically
coin.
just like if you park... I almost said dropping again. If you park hopping from Epcot to Magic Kingdom, you're not going to take a bus. Because you could take a bus from Epcot to Magic Kingdom. But it's easier for you to take the Skyliner. Same thing if you're... the monorail.
See, even we're getting confused.
Oh my God. And if you're going to Epcot to Hollywood Studios, you can also take a bus or you could walk. But you could also take the Skyliner.
Yeah. So the point is that Disney transportation is huge. There are so many systems functioning at the same time that go to different places around property. And it's good to have an idea when you're making this sort of loose plan and when you're thinking about your days to think about the ways that you could get from place to place. Because the transportation is also kind of like rides in itself. So we love, like when we're staying at a resort like Pop Century that has Skyliner, we love to make sure that at some point during our trip, we're going to utilize that Skyliner to get over to Hollywood Studios or Epcot. Or, if you're staying at Grand Floridian or Polynesian, thinking about maybe taking the boat over to Magic Kingdom one day. Of course you could walk, you can take the monorail, but taking the boat is its own experience. If you're staying at Riverside or French Quarter, thinking about going to dinner at Disney Springs one night and say, hey, we have that boat transportation. Let's take the boat over to Disney Springs because it's its own experience too. So you don't have to be an expert. We're not even experts. I don't know. I think probably the engineers behind the transportation are experts and everyone else is just figuring it out. But just understanding what your options are from your resort and what the options are kind of around property. And, again, if you need help with that.
Yeah, but
I can help you.
And also situations like you said, like just like knowing enough to be able to figure out how you're going to get on places. It also works, for example, when you're planning dining reservations. You're staying at French Quarter and you want to make to breakfast at Chef Mickey's. It's easy to get to Contemporary from French Quarter, and you can also and you can just take like the bus and walk if you want.
Yeah. You might say, okay, how am I going to get all the way to Contemporary? What am I going to Uber? But no, of course you could just take a bus over to Magic Kingdom and walk 5 minutes from Magic Kingdom.
But also, if you wanna, if you're French Quarter, if you wanna have dinner at Sebastian's Bistro or Caribbean Beach, that's a whole other situation. You could also just get there with Disney's transportation, but you have to account for the time.
Yeah.
Same thing if you want to go for breakfast at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of understanding these situations.
Yeah. And it's just so much fun. I just love taking the monorail and the Skyliner.
Yeah.
We did one time take the Skyliner during an actual hurricane, and that was a whole experience. So I would not advise that.
Yeah, I regret that.
I do regret. Yeah, there were moments where I was like, "Wow, this is like really." I thought we were gonna
die.
I thought we were gonna swing into the one next to us, but so don't do that. But otherwise, know your transportation. Okay, up next, tip number 8 is going to be. Oh, this is kind of fun. Tip number 8 is going to be hydrate.
Hydrate.
So, of course, Disney World is in Florida, and about 10 months out of the year, Florida is boiling hot, and it is so important when you are doing a 10 to 12, if you're us, 16-hour park day, that you frequently hydrate, because it is very easy when you're walking 20,000, 30,000 steps in a day in the heat to become very dehydrated.
Yeah.
And we do have some tips for this, too. So the first thing is that we will frequently, especially if we're doing a longer trip, we will have Amazon deliver 1 or 2 cases of water bottles to our room. Because if you're buying water bottles in the parks, you're going to pay, what, $6 a water bottle?
Yeah, $6.
Or you can pay $6 for a case of 24.
The least will be $4.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
And I will say that we do more frequently now just to get ice water from quick service locations, which if you're in a Disney park, you can go to any quick service location and just ask for an ice water and they'll give you one. So, because I did realize that, we do still get cases of bottled water in our rooms because we use bottled water a lot in the morning and the evening to have water by the bed. But we don't like to carry around a bunch of bottles of water while we're like heading into the park. So we bring a couple with us, but then for the rest of the day after our, bottles are gone, we just go to quick service places and ask for cups of ice water.
Yeah. I mean, basically, it's just like hydrate. It's very important to hydrate.
Yeah. I mean, you can also so they make these cool collapsible water bottles. We did get some of those. We don't use them just because we prefer just like cold water, the ice,
and
not
also
the water
the problem
from
is like the tap water in Florida is kind of weird.
Yeah, if it's not ice cold.
From.
Yeah, the water fountain water for us was a no-go. But you can get things of ice water and just dump it into a reusable water bottle if you want to do that.
I do think that like a very good hack that everybody should know is the free water quick service, because I see so many people just buying the Sannies on the quick service, and I'm just like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't spend $6
like pretty
on
much
that.
every time that we order anything, we get like
at least
ice
2 cups of ice water.
Yeah, like everywhere.
Yeah,
like even on like small like booths that we think that they won't have it, sometimes they do.
Yeah, we
always at least ask. And the thing about delivering water to the resort, it was so good. And also, as Vanessa said, it saves so much money.
Yeah.
And we usually only do for like bigger trips, but I feel like even for the next one, maybe we should get one delivered.
Yeah.
Because it's only 3 days, but like, that's like
8 bottles a day.
8 bottles a day, 4 each. That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
We'll go through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We were supposed to go just for 2 days, and we were gonna fly on Wednesday night, but we decided a couple of days ago to move our flight to 7 a.m. so that we could get a full day out of Wednesday too. So
so that's good.
Oops. Whoopsie.
Oops. That was your fault though.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right.
Okay, so number 8 was hydrate. Number 9 is going to be to pack smart. So I do think that there is an episode that will happen in the future where we just talk just about packing and like our must pack items and why, etc. But I will say there are a couple of things that we can mention now that we always bring that you should always bring.
Yeah.
Number 1 is rain gear, because you're going to Florida and it's going to rain.
Yeah, Vanessa wear this like disposable ponchos that we just get on Amazon, and I bought a very nice rain jacket from Disney. So
yeah,
Lucas
has a very cute Walt Disney World rain jacket that
but
he brings.
basically the thing about bringing ponchos or rain jackets or whatever is that like whenever it starts raining, Disney's gonna charge like $20 for poncho.
Yeah.
So you don't want to pay that.
A sucker in the park spending $20 on a poncho. And also the nice thing so you can get like packs of 10 disposable ponchos on Amazon for like $10. They're super cheap. They are super compact. So I just stick one like in the side of a backpack or in a fanny pack, and it starts raining. The thing about rain in Florida, especially during hurricane season, is that it's going to downpour for probably 30 minutes, and then it's going to be sunny again and not rain anymore. So if you have these like crappy dollar ponchos, disposable ponchos, you can throw the poncho on, get through the pouring rain, and then just toss it afterwards, and then you're good. Super
most
easy.
of the time, sure, you can just kind of like fold them if they're dry enough, and then like
we'll use them multiple times too. Yeah,
like especially when the rain's kind of going on and off, we have to go in on rides and come back to the rain. It's very easy.
Yeah, we also discovered last year, because one thing that kept happening was that we would put on our ponchos, but then it would pour rain and our feet would get soaking wet, and there's nothing worse than soaking wet feet when you're walking around the park for the rest of the day. So we did discover disposable shoe covers, which have been a game changer.
That was like life changing.
Yeah. And it's amazing, because I remember the first time we used them, we were in Hollywood Studios and it was pouring rain, and we had gotten off some ride. We realized it was pouring rain. We put on our ponchos and we put on our shoe covers, and we exited the ride. Everyone else was like hovered underneath umbrellas, and we were just walking through the park.
We were exiting Rise of the Resistance, and everybody was just like taking cover on the underpass leaving Galaxy's Edge.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then everybody was like, oh my god, what's going on? And then there was just me and Vanessa on the side just putting our ponchos and the shoe covers on. and it was insane because we were dry afterwards.
It was amazing. They're just like plastic covers. They're like plastic bags that have like elastic tops, so you can just pull them over your shoes, and then they like tighten around the top of your shoe, so no water gets in. Your shoes are totally dry, and it was just amazing because everyone else was like hovered underneath all of these like sides of buildings and couldn't get on any rides or do anything, and we were just like regular park day walking around like, this is awesome.
And that's also from Amazon, right?
Yeah, they're also from Amazon. We buy packs. I think they come in packs of 8. But if you just search for disposable shoe covers, they'll pop up. But that was a big game changer for us. Yeah. So disposable ponchos or rain jackets, the shoe covers. Portable chargers is a big one. You are going to be out and about like most of the day when you're, having a park day. They do have those like lightning rod things.
They have fuel rods.
They're called fuel rods.
Yeah.
Lightning rod. I don't know. So they do have fuel rods, so you can get them like from these machines, and then you can swap them out and get newly charged ones from them. We don't use those. I've heard that they're great, but we just have portable chargers that we got online.
We thought about getting one of those before. I mean, at some point I do have a feeling that at some point we're gonna end up having to get it, but we like to have our own like live portable chargers.
Yeah.
And we just pack and like charge every single night to make sure they're good.
Yeah.
And everywhere we go we just bring it, and it's pretty handy.
Other pack smart items, so comfortable shoes, that should be like a given, but also the number of people that I see like wearing clearly brand new shoes that they just got for this trip, just don't do that.
Don't do that. Yeah.
I sometimes will buy a new pair of sneakers before we're going to Disney, but then I will wear them on several walks, or on like, I have like an indoor walking pad. I'll wear it on that several times before we go. So do not wear them for the first time.
Don't try to break into a shoe at Disney.
Yeah. And make sure it's a comfortable shoe. We do Hoka's a lot. We've had really good luck with those, but just like comfortable sneakers, I think is the best.
A lot of Hoka's and On Clouds at Disney now.
I know, we're always like looking at the shoes that we see around us and like kind of taking a tally of like how many different.
A lot of Hoka's, On Clouds, Brooks now too.
Yeah,
There's
good
so
amount
many.
of Brooks. I mean, Nikes, of course, we're always seeing a bunch of Nikes, but
Hoka's are taking over.
Hoka's and On Clouds, though, I've seen a lot of in the last year.
We just started using Hoka's, and it's amazing.
They're amazing. If you're on the hunt for a good shoe to wear in Disney, try out a Hoka because they are super comfy. We should get like paid by Hoka or something for this. Yeah.
Wow.
If you're listening, Hoka, we'd like to sponsor you. Or we'd like you to sponsor us. And then extra socks. Throw an extra pair of socks in your bag for the park, because when that rain happens, if you didn't listen to us and bring reusable shoe covers, you're going to want an extra pair of socks, so you're not walking around in wet socks all day. And then, like other cooling things, cooling towels, maybe a portable fan or one of those fans that sprays water. Big one for us is going to be Advil or ibuprofen, because these are long days, and, I'm not 20 anymore. So when I'm walking through the parks and doing all these big step days, it's helpful to have a little portable thing of Advil.
Yeah, we just get like these small packs with like 10 or 12 or something, and we just carry it. We never know when you get like a weird
headache will
or
come
something.
on, or your back starts to hurt.
Because I always said like it's just like very sunny, hot. You might not drink that much water, so
But anyway, so just pack smart. Think about your packing list, talk it through, think about what you're going to need in the parks, and
also don't pack heavy though. Like, don't ever pack too much, because there's so many things that you think like, oh, I might need that, but you're never going to use it. You're just going to be carrying around all day.
I mean, we definitely like overpack as far as clothes go when we're packing.
No,
but when you're thinking about the
like
park
days,
you don't want to carry around like a 30
or
pound
or like
backpack.
Our park bag is basically like portable chargers, ponchos, and my rain jacket, shoe covers, ibuprofen, and sometimes
like chapstick, sunscreen.
Oh,
sunscreen's a big one.
Yeah, sunscreen, chapstick, and sometimes I'm now throwing like an extra shirt on my backpack just in case. But that's it. That's it. Like, don't be
keep it light.
carrying that much, because
And of course, this is different if you're traveling with kids. We travel just the two of us.
Yeah,
so
that's only us.
That'll be a little different.
Yeah.
But all right. The final tip on the list,
last
number
but not
10.
least.
And I think this is one of the most important things, and that is just going to be to manage your expectations, because I have seen way too many people plan trips to Disney and they think that they are going to do every single ride. They're going to see every single show. They're going to see Happily Ever After every night. They're going to get all the dining reservations that they want, and they're going to do multiple character dinings or whatever it is. You will not do every single ride. You will not see every single show. You will not get all the dining reservations that you want. I hope you do. I do. But it's entirely possible that you will not get all the dining reservations you want unless you're using a Fantastical Vacations travel advisor. But yeah, things are going to go wrong. Kids are going to feel sick. Your partner is going to be tired and need to take a break. You're going to have to cancel a reservation. You're going to have to not see a show that you were planning on seeing. So go into it with the expectation that not everything will go according to plan. And regardless, you will have a magical time.
Yeah. Because even if you don't get the dining reservation that you really want to, there's so many other options.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because we like to have the concept of like having a list of like must do, but we still got to be realistic.
Yeah.
Like, we can't just put, like, everything on must.
Well, and also, I mean, you know, if you go into your Hollywood Studios day and you go, we have to ride Slinky Dog today. That's the only thing I want to do. We must do it. We have to do it. And then it's down all day because of rain or because something's wrong with it, which happens, and it's not that infrequent. You can't let that one thing ruin your whole day or get to you in that way, because you just have to know that not everything's going to go according to plan, but oftentimes the things that you don't plan are the things that end up being the most memorable or being the most magic for you.
Yeah.
You know, all the time we do something sporadically, or we decide to go watch a parade that we weren't planning on watching, or we decide to like pop out of the park and take a monorail over to have lunch somewhere, and that ends out being like the best part of our day, and it wasn't even planned. So, know that not everything will go according to plan, and just go into it expecting to have a little bit of flexibility or a lot of flexibility.
I mean, I feel like the big thing about this topic, like manage expectations, would be like be very realistic on what you're expecting.
Yeah.
You know, like, of course you cannot do everything. So set your must do, a realistic must do, a realistic, I would like to do it. And something that's like bonus. Oh, if I get to do this, I'll be happy, you know?
Yeah.
And then be realistic. If you have like a bigger group, you're going to be slower. You won't be able to talk that much, you know? So,
and that brings us all the way back to tip 1, which is to come up with a plan that is a skeleton of a plan. That's a loose plan. It's a plan, but it's not a second by second plan, because that's just not possible.
And also it goes back to having somebody doing your trip that will manage all of these things that could just change out of nowhere is literally like what Vanessa does.
Yeah, actually, now that you mention it. But yeah, I will say, and it's not, of course, I would love it if you reached out to me at Vanessa@fantasticalvacations.com. I would love to help you plan a magical Disney World trip. But even if it's not me and it's another advisor, somebody that specializes in these destinations is so important, because there are as you can tell just from this short 10-tip list, there are so many moving parts with these destinations. There are so many things to think about or plan around, and we know all of them, and we can help you.
I mean, when you use a travel advisor, you're saving time, saving stress, and most of the time saving money. Yeah. So, it's just worth it.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean that I get a special price that you don't get, or I'm going to get you a room at a cheaper rate. It just means that I know if there's a special promotion that comes out that may apply to your family or to your trip. Yeah. And I might not get like I won't get a price that's, cheaper than the price that you see online. It's not like I have a special travel agent, discount.
But then as soon as a deal drops, she's going to apply to your trip.
I'll know about special promotions that Disney is running that might apply to your family or to your trip, and I can help you apply those. And just all of the time saving and, that has a lot of value in it. So, and I love to do it.
And
so
also,
let me do it for you.
It's like a special vacation, so you shouldn't be stressing out about it, and let Vanessa be stressed out.
Yeah, I love to stress out about it.
I mean,
I don't stress out about it.
Yeah,
I love it.
We like to plan Disney trips. And,
we plan a lot of our own Disney
and Vanessa
trips.
is a good friend. So usually,
please be my friend.
Please be her friend.
But all right, so those are our 10 tips for traveling to Disney World. We have about 500 tips for traveling to Disney World. So, maybe we'll do more parts of this. But we hope that some of these have been helpful for you, or that you've just enjoyed listening to us blabber on about them. But we will be back next week. And thanks so much for listening.
All right. Thank you very much. Leave us a review.
Yes, leave us a review.
Oh,
5 stars.
now this podcast are also on YouTube, so you can subscribe.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like
subscribe on YouTube. And like, and comment, and review.
Yeah, review on
Anything
everywhere.
else? Yeah.
Yeah, and follow us on Instagram.
Please do, at Enchanted Escape Pod. All right, thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.